I'm really happy to be here and be able to share my thoughts with you today. And as the title suggests, I will talk about the way emotional education can empower our generation. And first, I would like to start with a question. Are you comfortable with talking about your feelings? If yes, please raise a hand. Okay, I can see that half of the people said yes, some like not very sure on them. I would like you to ask yourselves, is that because maybe you don't know what you're feeling? Or maybe because you fear to talk about it with other people? And let me show you something. This is the wheels of emotion, and it starts with showing you the most basic feelings, and then allows you to explore a more in-depth view of them. And I'm showing you this because emotional illiteracy is one of the problems that arise when social emotional education is not taught. And you might ask yourselves, how did I come up to this topic when in the educational system there are still so many problems like dropout, accessibility, or even quality of education? Well, last year I was actually looking into all of these problems and trying to find a connection or a root cause for all of them, because I really thought that they can be all solved at the same time. And this year I actually found my answer in a very accidental way. As people around me saw, I was an emotional roller coaster in the last few months. Well, this was because I went for a breakup. And for me, it was overwhelming because I did not know how to control or react to my own feelings. And I know this is like nothing traumatic or wow, it's just something that happens to all of us at least once in our lifetime. And because of that, I chose to go to therapy and to learn how to control and react to my feelings. And I think after 1 month of therapy, I already got the confidence and I started talking about it with people from Performatory. And what I realized is that everybody goes through feelings like sadness, fear, maybe even fear of future. I also saw people in real emotional pain. But, in real emotional pain. And we all go through it, even if it's a breakup, a stressful deadline, or maybe just fear of future. So, on contrary, I also saw people that do not know how to react to their feelings, like I was. And those are the people that will actually suffer long term. So I believe that this is where we have a gap in our educational system. Social emotional intelligence should be taught throughout one's life from a young age, because these are the skills that we really need in order to have a thriving life and to find happiness. And to actually get a better picture of how this is affecting the system, I have interviewed teachers from different academies, universities, and even countries to see what's their status on this. They have observed that in their classes there is a lack of motivation and there is an overall gloom. And I looked into some statistics because I was not sure that this is happening everywhere. And what I found was dreadful. 70% of the people between the age of 5 and 22 suffer from a form of anxiety and depression. And as a student, I was shocked. But I think it should be even more worrisome for the teachers and the parents. And I asked myself, like, why is this happening? How can we get to this? Well, the current system is actually focusing on developing IQ. So the cognitive academic skills like memorizing, solving a math problem, or writing an essay. And these, I know, are the normal things you do, right? So you can assess the students. Well, what the system does is that it promotes the low development of emotional skills like empathy, social skills, or self-awareness. And as a quote says, the school is a reflection of our society. This system is dictated by our environment. The economical system, which promotes consumerism and consumption, created a new normal that we all have accepted. And this system is characterized by anxiety, depression, and it celebrates overworking and burnout. So the effects such an environment has on the society are individualism, pressure, isolation, fear of future, and it discourages us to show compassion, therefore leading us into unhappiness. And I could also not believe that nobody is doing anything about this, so I also looked into more perspectives. And I found something shocking. In 2008, the UN adopted Article 29, which states that the educational system must develop the students cognitively, physically, socially, emotionally, and morally. This article was signed by 196 countries, out of which less than 20 have implemented social-emotional learning programs into their day-to-day classes. Therefore, the schools that neglect emotional education actually violate children's rights. And I know I keep mentioning the word social-emotional intelligence, and I would also like to make it clear for everybody here to what exactly I am referring to. Well, social-emotional education is promoting emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence is the ability to decode own and others' emotions and to use this information to guide and control behavior. It includes skills such as self-awareness, knowing your own strengths, weaknesses, drives, motivation, and values, but also how you affect others. Self-regulation, controlling or redirecting disruptive impulses and moods. Empathy, understanding other people's emotional makeup. Social skills, how to form friendships or other type of relationships. And motivation or resilience, the ability to say, I can get back up from any difficulty. And those are exactly the foundation of the most sought after skills in our society, like problem solving, generating creative solutions, collaboration, and perseverance. So why is this educational system not focused on them? I know it might seem overwhelming, but we really do not need to reinvent the wheel to implement them in our educational system. SAL programs have already been developed, and institutions can just choose what fits them best. All that has to be done is for the teachers to be trained. And the benefits shown in schools that have implemented social-emotional education are up to 50% of the students improve their grades, suspension rate dropped by 44%, 63% of the students showed positive behavior, so a lot less bullying, and dropout rates lowered considerably. So, as a social innovator, I would like to also see this implemented in BUAS. And for this, Performatory inspired me greatly. The core of Performatory is a community-based approach, which strives for the well-being and development of students in relationship with the world around them. Such a system promotes collaboration, compassion, and self-awareness. And this is actually called the mentality of interbeing, and I believe that it is the next step our society must take in order to solve all the SDGs. And what better way of implementing it than using the new technologies? As next year I will be an esports minor student, I really want to develop such a community between the Leisure and Games Academy. And I'm aware that not everyone in this room knows what esports really is, so I want to explain it shortly. Esports is highly competitive, organized video gaming that involves teams. And you might ask yourselves, why is this so good for emotional intelligence? Well, firstly, it is accessible to all students, and the communities have low prejudice. In a talk with Jurma Negra, one of the teachers of esports, he said that esports is the place where you are not your disability. Secondly, Esports teaches empathy and social skills through experience. By playing games, students develop communication skills like showing weaknesses or asking for help. They build resilience and drive, learn how to support others, and develop critical and strategical thinking. And just imagine when they will finally see that teachers and parents support them in this. They will feel empowered and improve their self-esteem. So, on this note, I would also like to end the talk with a quote from David Kelly, a professor at Stanford University. He said that what matters most in the world is your belief in your ability to create positive change and the courage to take action. That is why raising our students' beliefs, self-worth, and happiness by equipping them with the emotional skills should be a top goal for our educational system. And this is so true, because this is how we can enable our whole generation to innovate, co-create, and solve anything from small interpersonal problems to the geopolitical conflicts. I believe a system based on interbeing is mandatory for the next generation. And it is an achievable dream because emotional development already became a trend on social media. So children are asking for it. And then this is where I'm asking the help of teacher and parents. Change starts with you. And I would love if all teachers here would educate themselves on the topic and try to implement emotional intelligence into their day-to-day courses. And I am referring to the teachers because you are the ones that have the influence of hundreds and hundreds of students. So it would be the most sustainable way of achieving this. And if you are a student, please ask your teacher or school for emotional intelligence courses. Of course, I know it's really hard to do and not complicated, but it takes some work. But any small change will actually make a big difference, and only together we can achieve this. Thank you.